Let's talk about Kuchisake Onna, a lady with a slit mouth. Hi, my name's Kimi and I love everything creepy. Picture this, summertime around 6 or 7 p.m. So it is getting darker but not fully pitch black. You're alone and nobody is around you. A woman with a mask approaches you and asks, "Am I beautiful?" You say yes, although you can barely see her face. You're not trying to be rude. But then she slowly removes her mask and you can see this huge grotesque slit for her mouth. She has this twisted grin on her face and asks, "Even now?" If you hesitate or say no, she will kill you. Sakeonna, also known as slit-mouthed woman, is one of the most popular yokai monster known in Japan. So what does she exactly looks like? Well, as the name suggested, she has a huge grotesque slit as her mouth. And although her face is very scary, apparently her voice sounds like a cat and her eyes reminds people of fox, which I'm assuming that she is really good at makeup. Regarding what she is wearing, it depends on where she is sighted. When she was sighted in east side of Tokyo, which is more populated part of Tokyo, apparently she was wearing a pair of red heels with red umbrellas. However, when she was sighted near Tamagawa, somebody described her as a little dirty, which which is a little rude, but I guess that's what it is. And this actually cracked me up because she is very careful with police officers. She is aware that there is law. So when she is in populated area, apparently her weapons are usually scissors or scalpels. However, when she is sighted in the countryside, she tends to have a sickle as her weapon. So she is doing her best to blend in. Where did she originate? Where did she come from? One of the most popular theory is that in 1990s, in Japan, a lot of people started to get into plastic surgery. Apparently, she is one of the victims of the botched surgery. And since she was so obsessed with beauty, now she haunts people who does not think she is beautiful. Another theory, which is considered as the original source, her first sighting was in 1978 in Gifu, Japan. And this was such a sensational news that it became so popular, and the following year, a woman was arrested dressing up as Kuchisake Onna and carrying around knife in the city. However, this original source actually had the dark side. According to the journalist Kyoji Asakura, the original sighting of Kuchisake Onna was most likely a woman who escaped Zashikiro, and since she most likely had a mental health condition, she didn't know what she was exactly doing. She would run around the neighborhood with red lipstick all over her face, which kind of gave that slit mouth impression. Now, what is Zashikiro? In Japan, back in the days, up until around 1900s, because people lacked knowledge regarding mental health conditions or intellectual development, when people had a family member who showed the sign of either one of them, they were considered as possessed by a fox. You can consider this as similar to how Western cultures considered people being possessed by a devil. Since they truly believed that their family members were possessed by a fox, they couldn't just let these people run around the city or the village. So the family will lock the possessed member of the family to the corner of the house if they had a big mansion, or into the storage house. And the door was locked from the outside. Of course, the person inside could not escape, so they cannot run around and possess others. Although the law was set to abolish this system in 1950s, of course it did not get abolished overnight. It's truly sad to think about how people lacked knowledge and they couldn't help their family members, and the person who was locked inside, they must have been so scared because they have no idea what is going on. They just know one day they woke up and they were locked inside of this storage room. Let's go back to Kuchisake Onna and see if you can survive if you ever encounter her. If you're good at running, you might have thought, well, I can outrun her. You cannot outrun her. Apparently, she can run 100 meters within 6 seconds. The fastest man on earth, Usain Bolt, takes 9.58 seconds to run 100 meters. So Kuchisake Onna is a lot faster than Usain Bolt. And I'm sorry, but like somebody had to measure this, right? Somebody knew they were gonna encounter Kuchisake Onna and they had a timer in their hand. They measured 100 meter and they were like, we gotta make her run. Like, who found this information out? One of the most known effective way to survive her is when you encounter her, whisper pomade 3 times. And I did not know what the heck is pomade, so I had to look it up. Apparently, it is a hair product for men. Because she's supposed to be a victim of a botched plastic surgery, the story goes that pomade was what the doctor was using. So when you whisper pomade, that reminds her of the doctor and she gets sick. And while she is getting sick and disgusted with the memory, you can run away from her. That's the logic apparently. Another very effective way to survive her is giving her a candy. However, it cannot be any type of candy. In Japan, there's candy named bekkoame. It's just pure sugar. However, it has this beautiful golden tint to it. Apparently, it is her favorite, and while she is focused on this candy, since she's a ghost, she doesn't really get to eat candies that often. While she's so focused on this candy, you can run away. That's the story of Kuchisake Onna. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video.